everyone. Welcome back. This is Inside Major League Pickleball, where we discuss all the scoop that continues to get interesting here with the hottest professional pickleball league in the game. Before we get to our amazing, starting with Pro XR, the official paddle of MLP, the only paddle custom fit for your guests. Yes, plural, you heard it. A quick shout out to our sponsors. Grip, Knock Around, the official sunglasses of Major League Pickleball, quality shades that won't break the bank. Aura Organic, the official nutrition partner of MLP. Transform your health with plant-based nutrition from Aura. Franklin, the official ball of MLP. The Franklin X40 delivers the best in-game flight out of any ball on the market. Hello. I am one of your hosts, Michelle McMahon. You can call me Mish, former Division I volleyball player, current sports broadcaster, pickleball addict. I would call myself one of the feistiest players in the sport, but our guest today will definitely put me to shame there. Get to that in just a moment. Joined, as always, each week by a couple of mullets, just a lady and a mullet. That's what I'm trying to get by here. Former pro and Olympic volleyballer, future pro pickleballer. He is the father of 5 kids. 6, including Tyson. He is Casey Patterson. Welcome back, Casey. And hi, Dad. Honestly, with Tyson's background today, it does kind of look like he could be one of your children. Which
Come
gets
on,
us to
guys.
our next
Let's not make that the whole show.
Joining us with the pink and very masculine background, Tyson Apostle, the infamous 4-time Survivor contestant, pickleball's fashionista, former pro cyclist. I also added Squirrel Hunter this week. I hope that's okay.
I mean, only to take pictures of. I will not kill animals. But yeah, I mean, real men can rock pink.
Stories. Okay, yeah, sounds good. And now we're thrilled to be joined by our guests, a couple of legends on the pro pickleball circuit. She is the most fiery firecracker in women's pro pickleball. She was a former Division I tennis player at UC Berkeley. She started playing pickleball October of 2021, made her pro debut in February of 2022, and she has absolutely stolen the show since. She's an MLP champion already in her own right, MVP with the Ranchers in the Newport event this past year. She also hiked the Pacific Crest Trail by herself. She's a baddie. Sponsored by Jula. She is Anna Bright. Anna, thank you so much for joining us. Happy to have you. And we also have to acknowledge our other guest today, the 30-year-old Utah native. He's been playing pro pickleball for 7 years. He is part owner in the Pickler facility, played tennis at BYU. We have pretty much all the BYU alums on today. He's a lefty, and his favorite shot to hit is the Ernie. Tyler Loong, not to be confused as Long. There is 2 O's there. I clarified this before we started. They both, by the way, shared the same assistant tennis coach at different times. But, guys, thank you so much for joining us. We love having you. Thank you. Let's start with, I guess, Anna, your journey since you're newest to the sport, and then Tyler to follow what your entry to pickleball was. I love to get everyone's story on how this sport has captured their passion like it has for so many of us. So Anna, starting with you, Tyler, follow up. What was the initial drawing point for you to get involved with pickleball?
Well, firstly, thanks for having me on, guys. Super stoked to discuss MLP and all things pickleball. So I graduated college in 2021, went on my crazy hike. And then mid-October, I was soul searching a little, looking for my job, thought my life was going to be really boring. And then I went out to play pickleball with my parents, and I was just messing around, but someone saw I was really good, said I should play in this charity tournament 2 weeks later. I was like, maybe. I went over there. It's like 45 minutes away, and I practiced there at this park. It's got like 17 courts. It's called the Palace in the area. Played with people at my level, lost to a lot of people a lot older than me. And that's what did it. That's what did it for me. I played in that tournament. I lost to Gabe Tardio and Georgia Johnson. I thought they were like gods on the pickleball court. And then got hooked, started playing every day, like 5 hours a day, 6 hours a day until I started working, and then kept getting better. Whole life transformed in February when I made my pro debut and happened to win. And then Tyler Loong was asking me to play mixed. That very day I won, I had messages from Tyler Loong asking me to play.
How many people did you get messages from? Because I remember we talked about this.
It was insane. It was so insane. So many people asked me to play. I guess Tyler happened to be the best one.
So you responded. So you responded to Tyler.
I responded to Tyler. A lot of
This
people
would have
got
been awkward.
ghosted.
Yeah,
A
this
lot
would
of
have
people got
been.
ghosted, including Travis Rettenmeyer. Travis Rettenmeyer got ghosted, and he has brought it up a couple times. I beat him in that tournament at 15-1 though. In mixed, I was meh. Obviously he's a total stud. It's such a beast, but yeah, that's how I got started.
And at what point in this whole thing was your infamous post about winning a tournament as a pro?
Probably about a week before the event. The Dink did some posts like upcoming tournament, and I commented. I had like a Finsta account that only had like 50 followers, just close friends, and I commented like, tune in and watch me if you want to see things that have never been done before. And then I won singles and doubles, and then I just went back and replied to myself. I just said, called it.
Yeah.
No one saw it. I just brought it up speaking to Tyson and Thomas. I was like, Thomas, like, I commented on your post. So that's all.
But we did have a conversation about it last year.
Yes, we did.
And everything. Okay, Tyler, how about you?
Yeah, thanks guys for having me on. I think Anna's story is a little bit more intriguing than mine. Mine is
But yours is 7 years.
I know.
Such a long time in pickleball.
It's actually closer to 8 years.
Oh.
Yeah, so my neighbor in my neighborhood, he was a senior pro at the time, one of the OGs. He's been playing probably for 15 to 20 years. He's literally went out there, got courts painted and everything like that, just a true ambassador, community ambassador. And he knew that my family and myself, we played a lot of tennis growing up, and I played at BYU. And so he always wanted to get me out on the court. And finally, around the holidays, around Christmas time, I don't know, 8 years ago from now, I decided I had some time, and I went out there and I just had a blast. We played at a local church. And he had one of his other senior pro friends. And so these guys were at the top of their game, and I was able to compete with them my very first day. And then from there, just like Anna said, I was playing a lot of pickleball my first probably 2 to 3 years. I played a lot of pickleball.
Were you
every day, 3 to
Were you working a
5
real
hours or so. And so
day job during that time? Were you working a real day job during that time?
No, so I was in a very fortunate situation. I was in college, and at the time I played 1 year at BYU, and then I went on a 2-year church mission, and then I came home, and then I was the assistant manager, or the manager for the women's team.
Nice.
And so my schedule was pretty flexible. I could kind of do whatever I wanted, and so I was able to get in a lot of pickleball during that time.
Here's a question for Casey. 2022 minus 8. Come on, Casey. This one's yours.
Okay.
I'm pulling out my calculator right
let's
now.
see. 2022 minus 8. What are we at? 2016? That's wrong.
It's 2014.
2014. See, where were we at that point?
Yeah, 2014. That's when Tyler started playing. I really thought you were going to get that faster than that.
Sorry,
Casey.
I was
And
rattled.
did it right.
I was actually trying to think of the difference between when I graduated and then when he did versus the actual question you asked me. And so
Okay.
it just threw me because
Well,
I graduated 2005 and I was like, wow, that was way after I was done at BYU.
Yeah, I started school at BYU in 1997.
Wow. I was 7 years old.
Wow.
So-
okay, so
So
you're
dude,
the oldest.
2022 minus 1997 now.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
so long, 25 years.
Oh.
Okay, so
Tyler, besides churches, where were you playing? Where could you play?
yeah, that is
Yeah,
true.
so Utah, in my opinion, I am biased, but I honestly think Utah has the best pickleball in the whole world and the States. Almost
Anna,
every
rebuttal?
Sure,
I
please.
agree. I think I heard Utah has the highest number of
capita.
courts per capita,
Per capita, yeah.
and they're nice courts.
Communities
so-
are great out here. I mean, almost any park you go to nowadays has pickleball courts, and they're all new.
Yeah.
We have multiple dedicated facilities. We have Club Pickleball. We have the Pickler, which I'm a part owner in. We have other facilities that are dedicated to pickleball, and I just don't see that other places
Gotta move to Utah.
for the per capita population.
Yeah, I can agree. I went
And
to
a lot of
Utah.
private courts as well.
Yeah, I went to Utah for the week of Thanksgiving, and I played more pickleball in that week than I have in a month in California because I have to wait for the lights to come on outside here in California. The noise ordinance is raining. Like, I was playing indoor at facilities every morning from like 5 to 8 a.m. I was like, this is amazing. I could get so good so fast here. You could play whenever.
Yeah, so I was playing everywhere. A lot of people I was playing with, they had private courts, and so I'd mostly play there.
I remember, honestly, I left Utah like 5 years ago. No courts, never heard of pickleball, Tyler. I go back, now when I go back to visit my family, it's like you said, like every single park has pickleball courts built, but that's all happened within the last 4 or 5 years. So initially when you started playing, you were probably playing on some pretty makeshift stuff, right?
Yes, like I said, the people I played with, they had some private courts, and so I was able to play at their places quite a bit. And so we'd play there so many hours, just play there every day.
That's the best.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take things over to Major League Pickleball now, guys. Since draft week is upon us, draft days, however you want to look at it, got to be flying high at this point. Anna, starting with you, what excites you the most about this year's MLP draft?
Oh, I think it's going to be super exciting. The 12 new teams, we have a lot of teams and ownership groups who've never played or had a team in an MLP, a lot of whom would be really exciting to play for. But I think what's going to be most interesting and exciting about this year will be, since there's no restriction on gender, like last year, the snake, it goes male, female, male, female. So this year, I'm really curious as to what the prevailing philosophy will be. Like, will we see, the first 6 picks are women, the first 6 picks are men? Will teams prioritize getting 2 women first, getting 2 men, alternating? I think it'll be really, really interesting. And I kind of think that no one really knows what to do. And I think that if the first 3 picks are women, maybe, teams will keep picking women, even if it isn't the right person to do per se. So I think that'll be really, really interesting and leaves like Tyler and I having no idea where we're going to go. It's like, I could go, if women are chosen first, I could go in the top 5. If it's men, I could be like 10 to 12 or 13, so no idea. I think it'll be really interesting how things shake out.
We had Ben Johns and Deckel Barr on here a couple weeks ago, and they said that their observation was that the teams with the strongest female players usually were the most successful. Is that something you also have seen? And if that's the case, then that would definitely have some bearing as to which direction the draft will go.
I think that's generally true. I think last year we saw that the teams that generally did well were the teams where their second female was someone who maybe went drafted too low. But if you have 2 good women, but you have like men who aren't good at mixed, like with the Ranchers last year, our men's team didn't do very well in men's doubles, but we had 2 guys who were still studs at mixed. So we had good females in mixed, but we also had men who could still take over and put the ball away. So it's really tough. I think you want to have good women, but I think if that's your philosophy, you need good mixed players too. You can't have men who aren't good at mixed. So I have no idea.
What makes someone good at mixed, Anna?
Power and takeover ability, I would say. Just the ability to take a lot of court, stuff you're not very good at.
Oh no, shots fired.
Ouch. I was waiting for that.
It took like 9 months for me to medal with this guy. Finally happened.
Perseverance.
Hey, you got to give me a little more credit. I started when you were nothing, and we got somewhere.
No, it's true. Tyler's a stud.
Tyler, do you agree that that's what it takes to be a good mixed player?
Yeah, I mean,
Is there more to it?
I don't know. It's interesting to hear her perspective, and I think she hit a lot of the points. There's a lot of men's doubles players who are great in doubles, but mixed doubles, their style doesn't suit mixed doubles. I almost think of it, you kind of have to be almost like a jerk or almost kind of cocky. You just have to take a lot of court. You have to insert your dominance. You got to take a lot of space. The next person also has to be fine with kind of playing different areas of the court. Sometimes they might play a little bit more. Sometimes they might play just a very small section. You see it all the time with the top mixed players where there's one person kind of covering more of the court. But yeah, I mean, power, agility, movement, they need to be able to move quickly. But yeah, those are all things that, in my opinion, makes a good mixed doubles partner.
Okay. And Tyler, you were a participant in the very, very first Major League Pickleball ever.
Yes.
A lot has changed since then. What are you
Just a
looking
little
forward to on draft day? What are you looking forward to? It's going to be a totally different feel than that first draft.
Yeah, I mean, the first draft was awesome. It was so much fun. Personally, I love team events, team sports. I grew up playing basketball also, and so that team atmosphere is something that you don't necessarily get in a normal tournament. So playing this MLP is just so much fun, so much camaraderie, so many good points, so exciting. You're seeing a lot of different matchups and players that you might not normally play against. And so the whole feel and environment is just a lot of fun. What am I expecting? I don't know, because I haven't been in the loop for two or three events. And so, like you said, a lot has changed. But it's kind of anxious, kind of nervous. You're just kind of waiting to figure out if you'll get drafted in the first place. It's not a guarantee for anybody. And then where you'll go and who will be on your team. Like Anna said, a lot of it depends on kind of your partnerships. Yeah, just a lot of fun. Looking forward to it.
So many owners to choose from this year, too. Like, just the dynamic has shifted so quickly there. You've got combinations like Tom Brady, Kim Clijsters. You've got the LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Brené Brown, one of the OGs. There's so many. So who's some of the owners that you would be like, oh, man, if I could play for their team, that would be cool? Anna?
For me, like you said, there's probably even a few owners that I'm not even aware of, just because there's so many high-profile people that have come into the scene the past few months. Some of the more notable ones, Gary Vee, LeBron James, Tom Brady, stuff like that. I played with Brené Brown. I was on her team, ATX, and had a lot of fun. She was, in my opinion, the best owner. Hold on a second.
Why?
She was the best owner. She came out to every single match, and she actually had a kind of a posse that came out and was there supporting us, and we got some really cool apparel and just a lot of cool swag, and she was just really supportive, and so we all really appreciated that team aspect. And I think it'd be fun to play for almost any of the owners.
Which team are you gunning for, Anna?
Well, I feel like there are so many new teams and ownership groups that still haven't been announced. So I'd be really curious as to, just who's out there. But I think it'd be really fun to play for the Tom Brady, Kim Clijsters ownership group, because Kim is such a stud, and I do like watching football, even though I can't say I'm a big Brady fan, but I like watching stuff.
That's not going to help your prospects of getting on Tom Brady's team.
Probably not. I also I know the general manager for that team is going to be Caitlin Kerr, the pickleball chick, and I really like her. And I know she has been really studying hard for the draft. I know she's been watching a lot of film, so I just trust that they will make good choices, and I really like her. So that's a team that comes to mind, but I'm excited to play for any team. I had a great time with the Ranchers and Tim Klitsch. Obviously, I still wear that hat all the time. But my understanding is that team might not be starting in the Premier League. So maybe the second go around, I think this first season it'll be a learning curve. And then maybe second time things might be a little more figured out.
Maybe to give some context as well. So there's going to be 24 teams to my understanding, and there's going to be two divisions. There's going to be 12 in the Premier League and then 12 in the Challenger League. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Great.
Yeah.
Do you know how they're deciding what teams will be in the Challenger versus the Premier League?
I know you're asking the very wrong guy.
I thought with all your podcasts,
you think we'd know, right? You think we'd have that information? They like to
Anna
tell us later.
He's
gaslighting I don't want to say something wrong.
Yeah.
But
all I know is
understanding,
Yeah. Go ahead.
My understanding is the 12 new ownership groups and teams are all starting Premier.
Okay.
Like the Brady team that ownership group, LeBron's team, and then all the teams that were in existence this last year are starting in the Challenger, and then they're going to swap.
Okay.
Gotcha.
They're just going to
I
swap.
think
If
it's
I'm
my
wrong,
experience.
I'm sorry, Brooks
We're
and Ann
blaming
and
you.
Steve, but that's
Yeah.
my
Sam's
understanding.
fault.
That's
If it's wrong.
what I understood when I read the press release on it. So Anna, you said you didn't. There was a lot of owners that haven't been announced. There definitely are. Anybody you'd be excited to see get into the sport? Like, name one person that would be your number one pick to own a team. Besides me, not me.
I think I froze.
Well,
I do not
you
know
were
what to
nervous
say.
for sure, but
That was a
yeah.
good question.
What did you ask?
There's a lot of new owners coming in
Okay.
that have been unannounced or are. We don't know all the owners yet.
He actually,
If you could choose just one person to be an owner that you would be a part of their team, who would it be?
he actually ended with "besides me," and then you gave him an appropriate silence. So I think that worked.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really funny.
I said besides me, and you were like, I
Got
froze.
so awkward.
And I was like, welcome to the club.
I'm
She's
so
like, I'd rather not
overwhelmed by
play
this
if
choice.
Tyson's the owner.
Yeah, I probably would
She's like,
just.
sorry.
I probably just go full tank mode. Let's see. I've heard some rumors about Serena Williams. That'd be pretty sick. But in the event that is not true, I think it'd be really cool to have some of the professional tennis, pickleball naysayers come over, and they have bought leagues. Like I know Andy Roddick has spoken out a little bit. I think John McEnroe, or maybe it was Marty Fish, said pickleball is like tennis with no skill, no spin, no movement. I don't know what the tweet was, but it was something pretty aggressive and pretty funny. I'd like to see, I think it'd be really funny if someone like that kind of bit the bullet and like got up to the pickleball and bought a team.
Ate their words.
Yeah, a little bit. It was a really funny tweet. I wish I remembered it exactly, but it was a pretty hardcore roast.
Yeah. And did you
We do
agree with
mean
it?
tweets for pickleball.
I can't say that I don't think there's some truth to that. I do think tennis is a far harder game, but I don't think it's a better game. Like pickleball is way more fun, way better for the masses. Still tough to master. Of course, it's easier. You know, tennis takes years. Tennis is grander, but so I don't think it's wrong per se. I don't think anyone claims pickleball is harder than tennis, but it's a heck of a lot more
Canceled
fun.
right after this, Anna.
Yeah, right.
More fun, that's for sure.
Yeah.
She's gonna like ineligible players for the draft. Anna Bright.
Getting yanked from MLB right away.
That would be tough.
No. She just barely signed her gold card status thing.
I know. You're gonna
Congratulations,
yank it
by the
away
way.
already? Oh, thank you. Super
Before it even gets to you in the mail. I'm assuming it's like a platinum credit card style looking thing.
You know, I talked to PPA and I said, you guys better do something awesome, like super, super high end, like a fat metal card or something
Yeah.
that gives us that status
Yeah.
so we can throw that thing down when we go to tournaments and maybe even restaurants.
Yeah.
Oh,
do you know
yeah,
who
that
else
would
money.
be cool.
Yeah.
Give us some
Seriously.
money each month. Give us like
Clink.
a little stipend to spend.
As you go to rent your Hertz car, you just like pa-ping, you just throw it on the counter, right? Yeah,
So
you're
Tyler,
at Morton's. You're paying
Did you
for
have to
everybody.
sign? Sorry, Casey, but Tyler, did you have to sign something to get your gold card, or is it just, you know, like
You
what
can
was?
talk to my lawyer. No, yeah, we did.
Oh, okay. I'm just wondering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got a contract.
Tyler, who are you? Do you have fingers crossed for any new ownership coming in?
Oh man, I love all the new owners that have been coming in. I mean, these are very high profile people. I'm actually a pretty big nerd. I'm a big techie. I love Elon Musk and kind of
Even
Apple
still?
and stuff like that. Even still, yeah.
Okay,
he's-
wow.
I'm
Die
with him
hard.
through and through.
You're about to get canceled.
So I think that'd be
I'm just kidding.
incredible if Elon Musk were to come into the sport. Which actually, he should start playing pickleball because I feel like he would love it.
Yeah, I mean
right.
everybody does.
Yeah.
That'd be
But
cool. Never thought.
okay,
Jeff Bezos would be cool.
yeah,
I don't know.
you're a big.
Joe Rogan would be fun.
Yeah,
That'd be
Rogan would
hilarious.
be rad.
Yes. Oh, that'd be great.
I
Yeah,
can
I'd
do
be
with that,
stoked
Rogan.
if Jamie Foxx, because he's just put in
That
courts.
would be
and he
cool.
lives super close. I went to those courts the other day, and I'm like, dude, if you need to own a team, because I feel like, he's got a really cool compound over here. And for me, what sets it apart for most of the owners is like, what are you going to do outside of just owning a team? I want to show up with like a huge rolling luggage full. I want like an Xbox. I want gear for like months. I want swag. I want, you know what I mean? Like, I want all the amenities. I want Theraguns. I want a Normatec system. Like, I want you to set yourself apart from all the owners, because you have to build a culture around it being like the coolest thing on the planet. And this team is, whether win or lose, like, we're having the most fun. We enjoy ourselves the most, and we're all in. Like, for me, that's going to set any owner apart. And if they do that, like, it's game over.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what's going to make players want to play for them. But it'll be interesting to see how it all shapes up, because we got the draft, but then there's also going to be the trade windows that will then, have some influence on the games as well. What are some of your predictions for the draft? Top guys, top girls? Are we going to see any surprises, or is it going to be like pretty much straight down the line of the duper ratings to begin with?
Go ahead, Anna.
I think the top will be pretty chalk on the men's side. You've got Ben, I'd imagine, will go first probably. Then you've got like JW and Riley, but it's a little interesting since Riley can't play the first event. I was actually texting Brooks, and I was asking, like, what does that mean if he can't play? Like, how does that affect qualification for the championships if you don't have, one of your stars for one of them? So I think there's still a lot of questions, but I'd imagine that's the top three for the men. I think after that it gets a little interesting. The women's side, Anna Lee's definitely going to go first. I think it'd be kind of crazy if a woman was chosen ahead of Anna Lee. And then after that, I think the women's side is a little bit of a crapshoot. I think like 2 through 7, 2 through 8 could be just a little all over the place. Don't really know what's going to happen on the female side, but I think if I was drafting, I feel like I would prioritize taking those top tier men, and Anna Lee would be like my first 4 or 5 picks. And then I have no idea what I would do, but I think that's what I would do.
At what level would you pick yourself?
Honestly, I think I would take myself probably in the top 4 females, like in the 2 to 4 range. I mean, I think I'm like a really good player, but I also bring a lot of hype and energy, which really matters in the MLP format, which I think was pretty big for my team. I mean, I think Tyson and Michelle, you guys were there in Austin, and my team got 11th place, and I don't think like anyone except maybe Althoff was being louder than me. Like, it was crazy. It's just so fun. So I bring a lot of hype, bring a lot of energy. So I think that kind of makes me a little more valuable in an MLP format than I would be in a different format. So I was talking to my dad, though. It's like, if teams are prioritizing taking women, like, I could be as early as the 2nd pick. Don't know. It's not impossible, though. If men are going first, it could be like the 9th or 10th or 11th, I think, like I said earlier. So I think the duper rankings are generally, I think they'll kind of fall on that path, but I think there will be some people who are a little maybe overrated, some who are a little underrated.
Okay. Tyler, you agree with that?
Yeah, I would agree. Duper actually sent us kind of a spreadsheet of where everybody lies, like 1 through 50 or whatever. And I would mostly follow along that. However, as Anna was saying, I mean, MLP, there's a couple of different factors you got to consider. Your energy, that's huge. And then also singles. Singles is really big. For players, I mean, Matt Wright is a very accomplished and very good player, but he doesn't play singles. And so how is that going to affect his draft? He's also mostly played, actually he's always played that I'm aware of with Lucy. Is he able to play with other people? Same thing with Colin. Colin is a great player with Ben Johns, but he doesn't do singles anymore. He's a very good singles player, actually, but he doesn't play singles anymore consistently. And also his doubles is a little bit different. And so I think that's where you start to see some of the lower level players, or maybe not lower level, but just people that you think might get drafted lower. They might scoot up a little bit higher than others. I don't know.
Yeah.
But as Anna said, it's kind of a crapshoot. I mean, no one knows until it's actually done.
Yeah, I was actually I was like, where do you take someone like Colin? It's like, you can't let Ben have him, or they will never lose men's doubles. But I was kind of mapping out what I thought the draft would be, just my own personal opinion. And it's like Colin falls in a range where Ben could take him. And that would be awful, like pretty much an unbeatable men's team potentially in the MLP format. But yeah, his singles is good and his mixed is good too. But he's not going to be one of the best. Like, you want Colin to be your number 2 mixed player. But yeah, it's really tough. Like, people like that who kind of are so niche. He's so good at playing the right in men's. Probably, I mean, Tyler's a lefty, so it's a different dynamic, but he's probably the best. So it's interesting.
That's going to be really interesting. So you're saying that a team, potentially after Ben gets drafted, a team could take Colin earlier just to keep Colin from being with his brother.
Right. Yeah, there's that. And then there's also, like, on the women's side, you have, like, Vivian David, who's a little bit of she only plays the right. She is so stubborn about it. I don't know why, but she will only play the right. And I think that was bad for her team this year, because I think she was the second or third female pick. I think the second female pick. And it's just tough as a top female when you will only play the right side, because she wants to cover like 40% of the court, and no one on the female side does it better than her. But then you have like the second female, if they're not a strong left side player, you're kind of in a tough position. So it's like, where does someone like Vivian go, who in her role, I don't think anyone is better, but I think it makes women who are a little more comfortable playing both the left and the right be a little more valuable in that sense.
Okay. I like that insight, actually. That's something I haven't heard before. Like, the drafting sequence is going to be tricky because, like, if Colin is coming back up and it's getting close to Ben's team's turn, they don't want that matchup happening. All the opposition doesn't. And like you said, somebody who's really, really good, but kind of in a niche specific scenario isn't going to be as versatile for a team to utilize.
I disagree with Anna. I think the format is so that a lot of crazy things could happen. In a normal format, I think, Ben and Colin win almost every day. But in these formats, when it's super momentum-based, very high energy-based, I think more stuff could go wrong. Or not necessarily wrong, but just different outcomes. And so I think there could be more chances of an upset if that were the case. But I think if you're playing more traditional, I would say, Ben and Colin, they're winning most of the times.
So let's say you're having some input with your team, Tyler. You're not doing anything to keep Colin from Ben, if that's just not the way it's.
Me personally, no. I would just be working on building
your strongest team.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I would do too.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
But it would give
as Anna
anxiety.
said, the energy in those situations is huge. It's literally like March Madness in college basketball. That's why everyone loves it. It's because there's so many different upsets. There's so many different teams you don't see playing each other, and anything can happen. That's why I don't know if anybody's ever predicted a perfect bracket in March Madness. It's because there's so many different upsets that can happen. And when you're playing the format that it is, MLP, 1 game to 21, if somebody gets hot driving balls or coaching or whatever it is, they can get hot for 10 to 12 points really quick.
I love that.
Yeah, you almost want to look for players that statistically come out and play that first half of a game so fiery and, they come out hot versus finishers. You just need a bunch of guys that start.
It's like money ball.
Yeah, gets on base.
I think finishers are actually crucial with the rubber banding, kind of, where the freezes at 20. If someone gets tight, it's a huge deal. The comebacks happen so fast, especially before they made the change to freeze at 18 for the other team. It was like it almost felt like a disadvantage to get to 21st. It's like you were so stressed out. So I think everything's important. I also think it's interesting, like you talk about the players who can get really hot being dangerous. I'd say on the men's side, like Rafa Hewitt is a prime example with BLQK. Maybe it was a stroke of genius by Richie to pick him, but I kind of think it was luck. But hardly anyone is bringing more hype and energy than Rafa Hewitt. The guy strives in like scramble situations, and he really brought it for BLQK. So that's a guy who I don't know where he falls on the duper lists, but I think Rafa is like he's an MLP player. He's talked to us. at the very next tournament after the MLP, one of the events, he was like, I don't even want to be here. I just want to play MLP. That's it. That's all I want to do. So you've got some people who just want to be like MLP specialists, and Rafa's one of them. So those people, like, he's someone who gets hot, really scary in this format. Yeah, I mean, that's how they beat.
You can. I mean, I've only played once, but from when I played, you can lose quick. You can also win quick. Those games, those points go really quickly.
Yeah, with the rally scoring.
Yeah. Who's a up and coming player with the infiltration of tennis players converting to pickleball, with all the new players kind of coming on the circuit? Who would you guys identify as an up and coming player to watch for this next season, and who you're curious to see how they either transition over, up and coming? Your choice.
You go, Tyler.
Yeah, I mean, pickleball is evolving so quickly. You're seeing a lot of new players. In other sports, a year on the scene is not much time, but I actually think if you've been playing for 1 to 2 years, then you're not necessarily new and up and coming. The Anna Bright, the James, they've all been playing for almost a year, if not a little bit more. And so I don't know if I necessarily count them as new and up and coming. Most people know who they are, but James, Anna knows who that is. He's a great player. Federico, he's a great player. He's been around for maybe 2-ish years or so. But yeah, you're seeing a lot of these ex-tennis players that kind of broke into the single scene, and now they're starting to hone in their doubles skill set, which is really fun to see. I don't know if you've talked about him before, but Christian Alshon, he's a fiery kid. He's a very funny kid on Twitter. He was tweeting a bunch of reasons why he should be drafted.
Do you agree with those
reasons?
Yeah,
I mean, there's Connor Garnett. He's new. I would consider him new and up and coming. I think he's been playing 6-8 months or so. I don't know.
Yeah,
yeah. There's a lot of players to choose from. There's one player that I will say he is a true new and up and comer. None of you will have heard of him. I played college tennis with him, grew up with him. His name is Patrick Kafka. He was a great tennis player. He played padel. Was I think top 5 in the U.S. for padel, and he said he was all in pickleball. So this is a true up and comer that I would say watch out for.
Okay, say that name one more time.
Play, but he told me he's all.
What's the name again?
Patrick. It's spelled Kawka, but it's pronounced Kafka.
Okay. Everybody write that down. We'll see if Tyler's predictions are correct.
Yeah, he was my roommate in college, but I haven't seen him play, but he was very talented in tennis and padel.
Okay, so Anna.
Potential future doubles partner for you, too.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Anna, what advice do you have for Patrick to make a name for himself in Major League Pickleball if he ever finds himself there?
Oof. Be rowdy. Try to, play. You got to play the big points well in MLP. And I would say a huge thing, I think in MLP, especially with the rally scoring, it is so important to just be solid. Don't miss thirds. Don't miss dinks. Because I think when you're serving...
Be perfect.
Be perfect.
As perfect as you can be. Missing thirds in normal pickleball is always hurts and stuff, or you'll see a lot of people shake and bakes in normal pickleball. I personally don't like doing that at MLP. I don't think it's worth the risk of losing points. This last MLP, the people doing the stats, I didn't miss a third. I was 100%, and I hit 0 drives. I hit 68 thirds, and I hit 0 drives. So that I'm probably an extreme case, but I think that's something really important in this format that I think a lot of people. I just think that the points on your serve are so much more important than they are in normal pickle. So that's something I would say to people who haven't played before to take into consideration.
Quick question on that. We're kind of switching subjects. For the real clear stats, was that off of one match or every single match that was on center court?
All matches, center and grandstand.
Every match
even
ever.
The grandstand.
Yeah. Are all included in the stats.
So you were 100% on your thirds?
There were 5 women who were 100% on thirds.
That is extremely impressive.
That's why people return to you when we play together.
Oh.
You got to shake and bake.
You got to. You can't not shake and bake.
That's why Rafa won the MLP.
Love
He shake and bake the whole day.
People
Yeah.
actually
Talked
returned to
about
Zane
momentum.
mostly on that team. They did some stats. People were mostly returning to Zane.
Yeah, but Zane's driving most of the time too.
Yeah, I know.
that's a
Yeah,
shake and bake
they're
team.
both doing it.
So you want to talk about momentum? I mean, momentum comes most of the time from those shake and bakes, those high energy points. And so
Yeah.
BLQK's won it, what, 2 out of the past 3
They
times?
did. Yeah.
They're all Paris, shake and bake. Irina, mix. But that's
I think
a
it just
pure
depends.
shake and bake team.
I think you have to make a high percentage. Like, it's not worth errors. I think that's what thing Zane does well. He doesn't miss. So, yeah.
And Tyler, you're going to go in shaking and baking, right?
I mean, if it's there, yeah. I don't like to force it, even though sometimes I do force it. But if you get a good partner that can crash, it puts so much pressure on that person hitting that first volley. I drive a ball, they pop that one up, and it's over. Points over.
What's the key to the consistency of the thirds, Anna? I mean, obviously practice over and over and over again, but like anything else that you can lend us?
I don't know. Just, I honestly don't know. I just think that it's the main, I mean, I think every tennis player, like the biggest shots, like dinking and resetting, and the third is like the toughest, not just drive it all the time. I think just a lot of practice, and I noticed I hadn't missed any, like in the first day, and then I was just like locked in on not missing them, and I was just really dialed in. I think that I play well in the pressure, so I don't know why or how, but it's not just me. There were 4 other girls who didn't miss a third. It was Andrea Coop, Regina Franco Goldberg, Sarah Ansbury, and Vivian David all didn't miss a third. So there were 5
Real
of us.
quick, that's just saying you're not missing in the net or wide, right? That's not, I mean, that's the only way they would quantify it, right? Because if you pop a dink up, a third shot, like,
Yeah,
and
it's
they
not
slam it,
it's
you
not
still-
a
that
measure
still
of
counts as you making-
it's
making
not a
it.
measure of quality. It's just
Yeah.
making them. And I think the 2 best men, I think Zane was like 97% and maybe Andre was right around there. I think we're the 2 best men.
But to never even miss in the net that's wild.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, if that were the goal, I could never hit the net.
Yeah, right. I would be 100% all the time. Here you go. Alley-oop.
Every time, dude, get them stats up. Dude, that's just padding those stats. I'm going to be the #1 third shot person of all time on Duper, and give me 3 months. We're less than 2 months out from the first event, like probably closer to 6 weeks ish. It's the end of January. What is there any special preparation going into this thing? When does the prep start to win this first event? Is it start when you get the teams together and then you're playing with your teammates? Anna, what's your strat going into the end of January?
I'm hoping to be on the same team as some people I'm familiar with, like if not people I've played with before, just some people I know that I'm friends with. I think, we've said the chemistry is pretty important. So I'm hopeful for that. And then, start talking, in MLP, you choose which side of the court you're playing. So like for Tyler, he's a lefty, so he's pretty much going to play the right side. It's pretty much just understood in both his matchups. But like for the women, hopefully it's easy. For the men, like this last time, once we executed a trade for the ranch, we had Jackie Kawamoto. We had to decide who was going to play the right and the left because we're both like left side players. And so we got to the Newport event a little early. We played a lot of games and kind of had to figure that out. So I think talking about that, we're probably just trying to, become friends, build some hype. Maybe I know some owners have flown people out to practice together. We do have a bit of a break before the first tournament of the year. So maybe some teams will do that. I think my team actually did that and it was really good for us. So maybe that, there's a lot on the line with MLP. There's a lot of pride, a lot of money as well. I think this year the prize money even went up more from last. So yeah, I think maybe some teams will do that. I think I'd like to do that just to get some chemistry, get some good practice going. But I think it'll be super fun, super interesting what different teams do, and kind of like you guys, like he said, like how involved owners want to be in that preparation process will be interesting.
Oh, hopefully a lot. Tyler, ideally, if you could map out the prep for your team as soon as it comes together, what are you doing between now and end of January?
Yeah, I mean, echoing what Anna said, just that chemistry, talking to them. I think first thing will be getting a group text with them, title it whatever MLP, and then start communicating with them. Say, hey, I like this, or I think you might do good on this side, or whatever it is. But just having that chemistry goes a really long way. Even it translates onto the courts, off the courts, building that hype, that energy. So all the communication, whether it be small or large, is going to be a benefit to you and MLP. For me personally, I mean, we're all athletes. We should be training and working out, and so I'm working out specifically for it. Doing a few different things at the gym. I've been trying with fail, but I've been trying to eat a little bit healthier. So the week leading up to it, I might cut back a little bit on my diet. But yeah, just making sure you're in shape and everything like that.
Are you in a bulking phase right now?
Can you not tell?
You do look jacked.
No, I don't really look too much weight. I don't like that look, actually.
Yeah, I don't either. I like to be the slim fit, but there are benefits to having muscles. I've heard. Yeah, it's a choice, Casey.
Okay.
It's not like. Come on, you know how jacked I could be, probably.
Oh, probably.
I'm the same size no matter what I do. I can do 100 pull-ups in a row and be in the best shape of my life and still be this slender. Tyler, I want to go back to. It sounded like the most important part of the team was the text thread title. You said title it. What's your title going to be?
Come up with something clever, emoji.
Okay.
I don't know. Depends on what team I'm on. I mean,
Future MLP champs.
Bronze or KD or something like that. Future MLP champs. Yeah.
Okay.
If I was on Elon Musk, I would title it Jeff Bezos or something like that.
Just to get at him.
Make him a little bit mad. Yeah.
Yeah, light some fire under him. You know how those billionaires are. They got
Amazon
big
delivered
egos.
this phone to me.
Yeah.
Anna, you got a title for your team's chat thread? She
Anna
hasn't thought about it.
Bay's family.
Minions? I don't
Worship
know.
Anna. Queen Anna has arrived.
Worship
Yeah.
Anna.
No
Name's
idea.
on the check.
It all depends. It all depends on the
players.
people on the team. The,
Okay.
You know, the owner, the team name. Don't even know a lot of these new teams' names. Yet,
Yeah.
Actually, no, we know ownership,
Yeah, right.
but we don't know the names. Actually, now that I think of it.
Yeah, we
I
don't.
mean, I will say this. There's been a lot of not transparency. I don't know if it's a lack of it, but a lot of us players have no idea, like the schedule, the format, the team names, and just kind of all the other things kind of surrounding it. I think there will be a lot more information coming out within the next 1 to 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think there's going to be some big announcements because every week we see big announcements, and I think they're just timing that to like really give us fans what we want. Thank you so much, Anna and Tyler, for being here. Anything else in closing that you want people to know about you or want to say to the world? Maybe Elon Musk is listening, Tyler. I don't know.
He usually listens every week. So.
He does.
Yeah, you
He
probably
has
have to
time
get that.
in between tweeting, in between tweets.
Yeah, he's gonna send us a
And
Tesla
emails.
suit. We're just waiting for the delivery. Yeah.
Where can the fans follow you guys?
No, I appreciate this. This has been a lot of fun. Thank you to all my fans, supporters, friends, family, everything like that. I appreciate it. You can follow me most up to date on Instagram. That's where I seem to be most active. I've been a little bit more active on Twitter. I'm still kind of getting the hang of it. And then also YouTube. Just search my name, Tyler Loong. I'm the only Tyler Loong in the world. So that helps
Wow.
quite a bit.
Really?
Yes. Yeah,
I do
that's-
like your
fascinating.
tweets, too. I noticed they're like kind of deep thoughts, but always anchored in pickleball.
Oh, yeah. I don't
He's
know what
trying to be
vibe
interesting.
I'm trying to go for. Sometimes I try to be
He's
a little
trying to
bit
be
more
all,
deep,
like,
but, yeah,
I am a professor of the game and everything. If you're
Well,
not,
that's
if
what
you
eight-
can't
that's
play
what 8 years will
pickleball,
get you.
study pickleball. It's like, oh my
An
gosh,
MD in
Tyler.
pickleball. Yeah.
I'm just trying to get something to go viral. So
Yeah.
Dude, I've been trying
You're
it
just
for
trying to
15
get like
years.
the kitchen or the dink to retweet you.
Maybe.
exactly.
Maybe we. I think we should start with the Tyler quote to start these podcasts every week.
Oh, I can start
Yes.
doing that. Yeah, I can
and,
read it.
and Tyler is so like Tyler plays pickleball like 3 times a week. right? Me and Tyler have played like almost every PPA together this year. And we don't text about when we're going to show up. We don't do that anymore. There was one day where it was like it was like half an hour. Normally Tyler wants to hit for like 10 minutes before we start. And he's like, okay, I'm good. There was one day at Nationals, he was actually there like half an hour early. He was like, where are you at? And I was like, I'm coming. Like, you're already here?
Cliffhanger.
Yeah,
And he was like,
cliffhanger. What was she going to say?
Oh my gosh, it was just getting so good.
What's she going to say?
oh my God. Am I back?
We'll have to.
Am I back? Hello, hello, hello. Test.
In the
Am I
meantime,
back?
That's it.
should I read your last tweet? People make time
Yeah.
for what they prioritize. This is why pickleball is exploding. People get it.
Yes.
People get it.
That's really
That's why
good.
it's so popular.
Yeah,
true.
that's really good.
Come on.
That's
That
good.
needs to go viral.
It's got
Am I
24
back?
likes. That's pretty viral. Anna's
gonna
back.
Oh
Anna's
my
back.
God.
We
It
finished
was
the
so
story.
sad because I could hear you
We're
guys.
hanging on the edge of our seats.
Oh,
Oh, that's the
Tyler
worst.
shows up and I'm like, why are you here? And he's like, I haven't played in a week. So I wanted to hit a little more.
That's a
So we
OG,
hit for like
right?
20 minutes instead of 10 because he hadn't played in a week.
Hey, our first match was incredible. We played great.
We did
that
play
match.
really well. We played really well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anna, where
That
do
needs to be
the
more of a thing.
fans find you?
Oh, I'm on Instagram. You could search for my name, or it's like annabright.pb. I think that's where I'm definitely most active. I also have a Twitter, but I do not try to go viral, and like Tyler does. Yeah, I think
Let's see
that's
who goes
where I'm-
viral first. We'll see if Tyler trying to go viral will go viral before Anna Bright not trying to go viral.
Yeah,
Anna Bright will go more viral.
I probably will.
Yeah.
Honestly. My best performing tweet. I think my best performing tweet is something from Cal Athletics, and it's like, it was like on like National Women in Sports Day. I was like, who's your favorite female athlete? And I like quoted the tweet, and I just said me. And I
Boom.
think that one did pretty well.
Mic drop.
Amazing. Words to live by. Get that framed in your house.
Yeah, there we go. See,
Wow, you get your quotes
Tyler's
framed
a
in your
fan.
house, Tyler. We'll see which ones are funnier.
I'm going to get you guys both one of those vinyl sticker makers for Christmas.
Yes.
That'll be great.
Oh.
Yeah, go stand by your mailbox and you can put those up in your bathrooms and stuff. Home is
There
where
was a very wealthy car guy. I like a lot of cars, and he did a rap on his car, and it was of DMs that he got on Instagram, like asking for money, and they're hilarious. And he just drove around with it.
That's amazing.
It's pretty
Like,
good.
they're really funny. You know.
Awesome.
And on that note, we will see everyone next week. This has been Inside Major League Pickleball. Thanks again, everyone. See ya.
Thanks, guys.